We're going to start this hour by speaking to a very busy man, and that is the Conservative Party Chairman, Kevin Hollinrigg. Kevin, good morning to you. And I say busy, Kevin,
morning,
because... Hiya. Yeah, I'm saying busy, Kevin, because yesterday it was... a letter to the Electoral Commission from your party, and today you're writing to the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner, both of these about the Prime Minister. Could you just explain to people, Kevin, why you're getting so hot under the collar about this?
Well, this is another emerging scandal from Labour. These are hundreds of thousands of pounds, but £740,000 that was raised from donors by this organisation called Labour Together, which has clear links with the Labour Party. These were misdeclared. They weren't declared, and they weren't declared for the reason that were deliberately covered up because the Labour Party didn't want the source of those donations to be revealed. And these donations also were given to the Prime Minister himself, and he didn't declare them to Parliament, which is a clear breach of the rules. So both we want the Electoral Commission to investigate what's happened here, because it was a cover-up of those donations, a clear cover-up, and we want the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner to investigate, because we think that Keir Starmer himself may have broken the rules on donations, the declaration of donations, which is a very, very serious offence.
In what way, Kevin, in what way do you think that the whole situation has been abused by the Labour Party?
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Well, they didn't declare the donations. They were fined a couple of years ago for that, but they said it was an admin error. They didn't mean not to declare them. That was the excuse they gave to the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission then fined them £14,000. This is Morgan McSweeney, Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff. But then it emerged, we have access to an email between Morgan McSweeney and Labour Together's lawyers and the lawyers themselves saying that they did it because it was a cover-up, because they didn't want to declare the donations. It's a huge issue for Labour. To lie like that to the Electoral Commission is outrageous, and then not to declare those donations, the Prime Minister himself not declaring those donations to Parliament, as other parliamentarians have done from Labour, Rachel Reeves, Lucy Powell, all declared their donations from Labour Together. Keir Starmer did not. That is absolutely wrong and must be investigated.
Itself has said today that the Commission thoroughly investigated the late reporting of donations by Labour Together and published our findings back in 2021. We were satisfied that the evidence proved beyond reasonable doubt that failures by the association occurred without reasonable excuse. Offences were determined and they were sanctioned accordingly.
Yeah. Exactly. So they seem to have been satisfied with this. There was an investigation and it's been sorted.
No, you're missing that vital piece of evidence that we've just received, which is an email from Labour Together's lawyers that were sent to Labour Together saying we best put this down as an admin error, which is what the Electoral Commission accepted as the reason behind the failure to declare the donations. What is clear from that email, and people can see the contents of that email if they go on my Twitter profile, they can see the letter I wrote to the Electoral Commission and to the Standards Commissioners saying what actually happened. It was a cover-up. They did it deliberately because they did not want to reveal the source of the donations. It was a Jewish donor. That was very sensitive at the time. There was a time when Jeremy Corbyn was their leader. Keir Starmer was trying to unseat Jeremy Corbyn, if you remember, and all that was very controversial at the time, and that's why it was concealed. They did not make that clear to the Electoral Commission. We've made that clear to them now. They need to investigate, as does the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner.
Right, can we move on to another story? And this is Nigel Farage grabbing the headlines yet again about immigration. I mean, you know, you must look at this and just think, what is going on? These were supposed to be our clothes. We were supposed to have got a handle on this.
Well, we have got a handle on it, and the reality behind all this is, though we made some mistakes on migration in last Parliament, there's no doubt, one of the things we knew we needed to do is bring forward a deterrent for people coming over the Channel, and that was the Rwanda deterrent, which we finally passed despite being opposed 134 times by Labour and the Liberal Democrats, and then by the courts. We passed all that legislation. Labour then scrapped it. So we absolutely agree, and have already put forward our policies on deportation of illegal migrants. In terms of legal migrants, in terms of indefinite leave to remain, our rules we announced back in February are even tougher than reforms. Rules we're saying people shouldn't be able to get indefinite leave to remain for 15 years, effectively. So, and bringing forward a cap on legal migration to make sure we can control numbers at the borders, make sure people don't have access to benefits and social housing, all those things if they're going to apply for citizenship. So many of these things we're on a similar page to reform, because reform have copied a lot of our policies, but ours are better thought through. They will stand the test of time,
aren't they? So you must
if given the chance to effect them.
But they're getting all the headlines, so you must be a bit annoyed about that, a bit miffed.
Well, listen, it's our job to make sure people understand our message. We need to work harder at that. That's part of my job as party chairman. But Kemi Badenoch is doing a fantastic job. She's the strongest leader in this country, or any political party. I think she's the right person to lead this country. What this country needs right now is a strong leader, but one who's consistent. And where you see all the backtracking from Nigel Farage about the policies he announces, then he backtracks on them because he makes mistakes on them like he did yesterday. Because he's a one-man band, we've got a very good team of people, including an excellent Shadow Chancellor, who will actually balance the books. And that's what you're going to get from Conservatives, is we'll control the borders, but we'll also live within our means. That's critical, and no other party will do that.
And that is the chairman of the Conservative Party, Kevin Hollinrick. Kevin, thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate it. Leave it there.
Pleasure.